So I thought it would be very appropriate to make a non-biased, 100% honest critique and review and first impressions of PlayerUnknown's BattleGrounds or PUBG. I spent a good amount of hours playing the game, on PC or my laptop, and I really do enjoy it on multiple different levels. And apparently, from what other YouTubers and just general information, the early days of PUBG, it was really terrible because it was something brand new, and they still had to go about, tweaking so many different things and everything like that. And, I was lucky enough to start playing the game when they already adjusted and tweaked so many different things. And yes, the game is still in early access, and it's not perfect. And there's still, like I mentioned, I think in another, like a different video, there's for other games, there's a lot of room for improvements. But I'm a big fan of PUBG. I really, honestly, think of it this way: I still haven't gotten winner chicken dinner. I'm not good at the game as other players are really good at the game, but I still very much enjoy the game on multiple different aspects. It's just fun. Like, looting is fun, exploring is fun, and then occasionally picking players off. And then there was a YouTuber that mentioned, if you really love a game, you're going to rage and get really angry. And that is something that came really honestly true to me. I've had situations where I, unfortunately, I was playing a game and I really did rage. And I don't rage when I play Call of Duty because I don't really like Call of Duty on that level. I play Call of Duty just because, there is some redeeming qualities to it. But, even with PUBG's, console release, having server issues, having such terrible frame rate, which at the lowest, I think I had 23 frames a second, which is terrible. But then you have to realize, I hate when people they'll go and they'll bash on the game. First off, it's a preview. It's not the full game. They're still tweaking and adjusting a lot of things. And even right now, I'm looking at the game. I have it on my TV, and it says servers will be down for 1 hour maintenance starting 5 a.m. PST/2 p.m. CET. Apologies for the inconvenience. So they're already working on improving the game. They know that there's issues with the game. Matter of fact, that right there means a lot to me, that they're going out of their way to improve on something. They know, they heard the uproar, the problems. They're, as a developer, I'm pretty sure they're upset that there is issues with the game. But, my first initial game, I didn't capture it because I'm like, well, it's my first game. I'm probably going to do bad. I don't want to capture it. It'll be embarrassing. But then I realized, I'm like, I got 4 fucking kills. I'm like, that's the most kills I've ever gotten in one sitting. I'm not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not this good at the game. A lot of it was just dumb luck. Just really. I wish I had it captured. It was really funny. In this video, I think I get only 1 kill, and it was a car. I was chasing the guy and hitting his car, and then eventually got out of the car. He was shooting at me. I think I took a little bit of damage, but I managed to run him over. And later, I died. But I had fun with it. It was kind of hilarious. It's fun. So my only real issue is that I noticed that a lot of people probably won't talk about. Will talk about. My bad. Is obviously frame rate. That's the big topic. But it's also there's lag, server issues, and other shit. I'm like, well, okay, servers will improve with time. You have to give this game some time. If you're brand new to PUBG, give it some fucking time. Give it a little bit of love. They need love and support instead of fucking people going and bashing on them. Oh, this and that. Dude, it's an early access game on PC still. It's still a developing game. They're still trying to figure out all the kinks and bugs and everything. There's a lot to this game. Think of it this way. It's a huge-ass map. I don't know if it's probably the equivalent or if not bigger than, the GTA 5 map. So, think of all the rendering, that has to happen, with all the environments, buildings, and and the loot and players. There's a lot of rendering that has to happen. Also, frame rate, I can tell, like, my lows and highs of frame rate. Not that I have, like, a system that will tell me that, like, I don't know, software or app or something like that. But I take it off from just experiencing Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege has an option where you actually can see the frame rate. So when you play multiplayer, my highest, I've really for maybe 2 to 3 seconds have received 60 frames a second. Usually I get anywhere between 53 and 59. My average is about 57 on or on multiplayer. On Terrorist Hunt, however, for Rainbow Six Siege, I get usually anywhere between 30 to 34 frames a second. Because it's just it's just Terrorist Hunt. It's I guess it's less important. I don't fucking know, but you get less frames per second. And seeing that, and then comparing that to PUBG, on the lowest I had 23. That was in the lobby, before we were in the airplane. And if it's crowded in a big area, you'll see rendering issues. You'll see frame rate drops, but on high points, I get about 34 to 37. I think my average is about 34. And this is kind of like a rough estimate. It's not an exact number. I can't provide an exact number, but that's what it visually looks like to me. And I know it's kind of hard to tell, because think of it this way: 60 frames a second. How are you supposed to catch that with your eyes? You really can't. You can see that it's more crispy comparing, to right now with PUBG. Yes, PUBG with time, I'm guessing when they fully release the game, for consoles, obviously there'll be a lot more adjustments. I'm pretty sure they'll have new maps, a whole bunch of other shit, and with time, they'll be doing updates. Like they're already doing an update. The game came out, they're already doing an update. They're taking the initiative to improve the game. I respect that, but yes, there's a lot of room for improvements. They really need to work on. I'm thinking they should just drop the engine that they have and change the whole entire engine to a completely different engine, because I feel like the engine that they're using is the same engine that Fortnite is using. The company that made Fortnite, I wouldn't even doubt that they're trying to fuck Brandon Green over by fucking his engine abilities over in his game, literally. Like, they probably have a way to do that. I don't know, I can't confirm that, but that's what it feels like to me. It's like they're deliberately trying to screw this game over because, obviously Fortnite is a competitor to this. So I would think, and if I had the money, I would pay Brandon Green to switch fucking engines and be like, leave it as it is right now, put it into a new engine, see if it has better rendering abilities so that environments, buildings, loot, characters render better. Downgrade the fucking graphics. You don't need to have great graphics for this game. I could care fucking less. And the reason why, and I'll explain why I could give two shits less about graphics in this game. I'm not in for the graphics simply because I know this is not a AAA title. There is not a super supreme budget behind this game comparing to games like Call of Duty, which in all actuality, yes, Call of Duty might have 60 frames per second, but comparing to PUBG, and it's just in general, PUBG blows it out of the water. Call of Duty is boring and stale now. I don't even want, I went and played a game of Call of Duty today. I think I played like 2 or 3. And I'm like, dude, I'm tired of this game. I'm already tired of this fucking game. It's not even the new year, and I'm already tired of this game. How long has this game been out? A little over a month now, and I'm already tired of Call of Duty. With this game, I played a decent amount of hours on PC. I always want to go back and experience, 3 to 5 games, have some fun, see where, I have more luck with looting, see what I can do, and see if I can get at least in the top 10. Maybe if I'm lucky, get that, poultry dinner, So, yes, there's, that I really think it's rendering and frames, per second, which are an issue here. So, best thing for Brandon Green to do, or PlayerUnknown, and the developing team, is to switch engines. Fuck this engine that they have. I feel like the company behind the engine is throttling their fucking production, literally. Somehow they embedded themselves within that engine to a point where they can throttle that game just so that Fortnite could do better. And Fortnite is a piece of shit compared to this game. Sorry to say. Fortnite on its own, if PUBG didn't exist, is a fun game. But I really wouldn't spend more than 20 hours, maybe 24 hours total on that game, and then I would be playing some other game. I would actually prefer Call of Duty over Fortnite, just because Fortnite's just too cartoony. That's the reason why Fortnite has more frames per second. That's the reason why it renders its environment so well on a decent sized map, is because the fucking graphics and everything in there is so stale and just simple, like boring ass colors. They're colors that are colorful. It's a fucking cartoon. That's why it has so much frames per second, and that's the reason why it renders so well. If PUBG did the same thing, they would have great frames and great rendering abilities, where the map and everything else and its environment would render faster. But since they want to, have a little bit of graphics that gives you realism, where you feel like it's not just a game, it's more realistic, unfortunately, it's going to have a harder time rendering the environments, buildings, and loot and players. The engine itself probably is, a shitty engine to begin with when it comes to everything, rendering and frames per second. They need to definitely work on those two things, and if they can really focus on those two things, obviously server issues as well. I'm pretty sure that they're going to be using Microsoft servers, so they're not going to have server issues because Microsoft has a lot. I mean, that's a big company. So servers are not going to be an issue ever, I don't think. At least personally, I don't think. When it comes to, rendering and, the frames per second, definitely switch the engine. That's like, if Brandon Green is out there and happens to come across my video, Mr. Green, seriously, switch your fucking engine to a different engine. Find an awesome alternative. There's plenty of other companies out there with great engines that you can utilize, and actually it would be much more useful and much better for you to do to begin with. Drop the graphics. Don't focus on making the graphics fucking like super 4K amazing fucking graphics. Fuck that. You don't need to do that. Your game does not need to have amazing graphics. It's not about the graphics in this game. Yes, it would be nice to have a little bit of interesting visuals, but you don't need to go all out on it, so decrease the graphics and switch engines. You will get more frames. I would be happy with 45, 50 frames per second, honestly speaking, because at least I'll have a better experience gaming in general, because the game itself is way better than many other games. It's funner. It's a fun experience for me. So overall, I have to say, yes, I'm upset that the frames per second are terrible. I'm upset that the map has issues rendering, but in general and overall, if the frames were better and the rendering was better, this would be a smash hit. I really, really love it. I'm very happy that they're doing maintenance eventually today with the game. So I'm excited that they will be doing maintenance. Hopefully they'll adjust something, and maybe they'll, like, I would hope that they would work on trying to at least work on making the game render better, so things would appear, because that's one issue that I've been having, and hopefully they can maybe pump something out where we can get 40, 45 frames per second. That would make the game much fucking better, and it would be a step in the right direction. And those are my personal thoughts, my personal opinions, and I'm kind of like, I'm stuck in a pickle. I really love this game, but I'm disappointed with the launch debut of, it's called a game preview. It's like, it's not a fully finished game. It still needs a lot of work, but I want to enjoy it, and I really hope that they do things to make it better, because this is like my new thing. This is like my new game. I really love this. Like I just love it. I really want it to do good. I don't want it to fail. You know, when you're passionate and love a game, you do not want it to fail. And I do not want it to fail. I refuse the idea of PUBG to fail. I refuse that idea. And if I had the funds, if I had the ability, I would fucking support them all the fucking way, just because this game is literally, you know, just so much fun. And I mean, and there's so much more to come. I mean, they could potentially, in the future of this game, make multiple different maps, a lot more weapons, you know, and a lot more creative playlists. But like I've said before, there's room for improvements, but those things take time. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to create the smallest chunk of an environment on any engine. Like, I have the Unreal Engine, and I try to create a little small, minute little environment, and I barely scratched the surface, and it's been months. So I can't even imagine what professionals that do this for a living, what it takes. Like, it takes so much hard work and dedication to do this, and they have a small staff, a small team. They don't have the same kind of budget as AAA titles such as Battlefield, Call of Duty, and other big-ass games. They never had the privilege to have what those AAA titles had. So I'm sick and tired of people giving this game such a fucking hard time. It's not perfect. It needs a lot of, you know, improvements. There's a lot of room for improvements. Yes, they need to definitely switch engines so they have a better rendering abilities and so they can improve their frames per second. But I'm still going to play the game. I don't care. I'm still having fun regardless how shitty the launch of the game is as of right now. I'm still having fun with it. So that's all I got to say. If you did like this video, definitely hit that like button. If you didn't, hit that dislike button and leave me a comment. See what, you know, tell me what I can improve so I can, you know, read it, see what I can improve on. And if you like this content, if you like the video, definitely subscribe and then hit the bell. So all I got to say, peace.